a lot of people don't really know what ayahuasca is. From what I learned, Aya and Huasca, I'm hoping that I'm breaking it down the right way. It pretty much means the vine of death, or the rope of death, because it brings you that close to death. And I really didn't realize that until I actually participated in the ceremony. But it changes your life. It impacts you so much that it changes your life. And only people who have done an ayahuasca ceremony realize that. So anyways, they handed me this tea. Ayahuasca is a tea. It's made from 2 ingredients, the ayahuasca vine and what is called the chacruna leaves. The leaves themselves contain DMT. DMT is what is called the spirit molecule in water, basically. So when they brew this tea together, they give me this tea. I drank the tea. I'm talking to the shaman. Oh yeah, man, you know, of course I ain't never tried this before, but you know, I'm very healthy, whatever. I may want to drink more than 1 cup and da 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 da. So he gave me a little more than what he was supposed to give me. I was only supposed to receive like a shot glass. He gave me like almost just a little bit under a cup. And I wish he would have never done that. That was way too much for me. He gave me the cup. I drank the ayahuasca. Ayahuasca also makes you throw up. They say when you throw up, you're releasing the negative energy from your body. You know, of course, I understand all that, but coming from America, you know, when you hear negative energy and this and that, you know, I studied all these different things, but in my mind, I was like, man, there ain't no negative energy in or whatever, you know, so I ain't really think too much about that part. But as soon as I drunk it, and it tastes like prune juice mixed with barbecue sauce. That's how nasty it tastes. I drunk it, so I sat for a little while. I was just telling them, you know, I probably ain't gonna even throw up because I drank that liquor and this and that. Man, I threw up. I threw up very bad. And as soon as I threw up and sat back and blinked my eyes, as soon as I sat back, let me pause for a second. If you look up ayahuasca, they're gonna try to explain it as a hallucinogenic brew. That's not what it is. What it does, it taps you into your higher senses. Right now, you know, we see, we hear, we taste, we smell, you know, those are our senses. This thing opens up your third eye. As soon as I blinked my eyes, I saw like 50 of the most beautifulest cats I never in my life liked the cats. I don't really care about cats. I don't have pets. But I saw these cats, and these cats were staring at me. Beautiful cats. A type of cat that don't exist today. I had to do a lot of research after the ayahuasca. I found out that this ancient breed of cat is what they call the Sphinx cat. It was much taller, had very long ears. All of these cats was decorated. Hieroglyphic necklaces around their necks, bracelets, gold bracelets, gold earrings. And they were all staring at me like something was about to happen. Now, I want to pause again. 9 years ago, I participated in a past life regressive hypnosis session where I was allowed to see my past life, one of my past lives, which is why I knew the shaman was telling the truth about Atlantis, because I saw myself there with a woman. The woman was very human-like, but at the same time she had the characteristics of a lion. There was also a man there, and there was a statue that I had never seen before. The statue, what I later found out, like 2 years later, is called the Griffin. He was inside this temple, very deep underground, somewhere in Atlantis. It was dark, but there was no fire to illuminate the place. They had the technology to convert oxygen into light. And when they converted the oxygen into light, the whole air was kind of like a greenish color. This is what I saw in that past life experience 9 years ago. I didn't know who the woman was. I didn't know who the man was. I saw the way the lady was dressed. And as I went on with my life, I realized that that woman was an ancient goddess in Egypt called Setman, who I had no knowledge of until many years after that experience. She was an ancient deity in Egypt. She was the goddess of Ma'at, balance, justice, and law. Now, back to the ayahuasca session. I saw these cats. As these cats sat around, a woman came and presented herself. This was the same woman I saw from that past life experience 9 years ago. It was Saturn. So in my past life experience, it was just something that I saw and then it went away. I wrote it off as a dream. I didn't really think too much about it, even though I started realizing a lot of the stuff I saw was real when I looked it up. This woman, Segment, I asked her, I said, well, were you the woman that I saw in that past life experience? Just like how we talking today. You know, I'm blanking my eyes, but I could see her in my mind. And she was like, I've been with you through all of your past lives. I'm your spiritual guardian. That's what she told me. Her voice was as clear as we talking right now. And she showed me all of my past lives, so many of my past lives. I didn't even imagine that a person could have that. She explained to me all human beings have past lives. Whether they believe it or not, it takes several past lives to even become a rational thinking human being. Any person you see with slow learning disabilities, that person hasn't had that many lifetimes yet to evolve. When she showed me this thing, I'm being taught by an interdimensional being right now as I'm sitting there having this drink, and I'm learning different things, and there's no way that something like that could be possible without being real. She allowed me to experience the ayahuasca, and the ayahuasca itself, many people call the ayahuasca an actual spirit form because of how knowledgeable and powerful it is itself. Everything you see in the movie Doctor Strange, I say about 70% of that is real, except for, you know, the storyline. But a lot of what you see is real. This woman allowed me to step outside of my body and see the vastness of the universe. And at that moment, she didn't even have to say this. It was like a download of information that came to me. And I understood that all of the planets throughout the universe were the cells of the universe. All of the people that live on the planets throughout the cosmos, and I say planets with an S, peoples throughout the cosmos, human beings just like us, just live on other different planets. All of these people are the cells of these planets. And everything we think, whether our thoughts are positive or negative, affects the planets. The rivers, the streams, all of these are the veins of the planets. They must not be dammed. We dam a lot of these, you know, rivers and stuff, you know, to use them for energy. We drain the planet from oil. The oil is like the blood of the planet. All of this stuff affects the planet. Natural disasters themselves are the planet's immune system to protect the planet. You will notice, I realized this in ayahuasca, in my ayahuasca ceremony. Places like Africa, places like South America, a lot of places where tribes live do not have natural disasters. You realize that. Nobody never asks themselves why, because these people are the caretakers of the planet. We think that we are more advanced and more evolved, but in reality, a lot of these tribes, they're far more advanced. They know that the planet is alive. They know that the planet is a living being. This is not a belief system. This is a reality. As I received this downloaded information instantly, just like that, she also allowed me to see myself. At the moment I saw myself, and this is where the story take a very turn. When I looked at myself, I saw an entity attached to me, a demonic entity. And it was trying so hard to hide, but the ayahuasca was allowing me to see it. And at that moment, it left my body, and as soon as it left my body, I kept seeing shadows in the corner, and I kept looking like, damn, you know, I'm sitting up here in this ceremony. I just saw something in my body leave my body. So I sat back, and now I'm almost scared, you know. I'm not even paying attention to the woman. I don't tune all that out. I'm like, hold up, man. I just saw something that just threw me off.
Scared the hell out of you.
Yeah. So I sat back, my eyes open, eyes not closed. I watched 3 beings walk through the door. No hallucinating or none of that type of stuff. 3 entities. They thought I couldn't see them. These were interdimensional beings also. Two of them looked very similar to the description of what we would call extraterrestrial grays, the ones with the big head and black eyes. One of them had more of like an exoskeleton type body. And they came in to communicate with the entity that left my body. And I'm just going to tell you exactly how I saw this. I'm not going to interpret anything or none of that type of stuff. I don't care if anybody think I'm crazy. I'm going to tell you just like how it was. They spoke to this thing, not telepathically, which is telepathy is something that I do understand. They spoke to this thing through their emotions. I could pick up everything that they were feeling as they was explaining it. And they wanted to know what the ayahuasca was doing with me. Am I about to die? And I can sense this entity. I couldn't see it at the time because it kept trying to hide, telling them it doesn't know. It lost control of me. It's not able to control me at this point. At the exact same time these entities was communicating with this demon, I was able to tap into the mind of these beings. That's what the ayahuasca allowed me to do. And I realized that they had a massive agenda to send demonic entities on several people. A lot of people that was at a point in their life where they was gaining knowledge and wisdom, they were attaching demons to these people. That's just as real as it is. That's what they was doing. And at that moment, when I saw all that and I felt all that negativity, I kind of snapped. I'm like, oh, who are y'all? And when I said that, they realized I could see them. And they got so nervous, they disappeared just like that. So now I'm stuck in the ceremony. A lot of the people, they coming over to me, asking me, is everything okay? And I couldn't explain what I just saw. I'm like, hold on, you know, when I looked up ayahuasca ceremonies, everything was all love and light and beautiful, but I just saw something that just threw me completely off. You know what I mean? Everything was, you know, I saw the colors and the geometric patterns and all that, but I just saw something I think I wasn't supposed to see. So, you know, they went back over and they, you know, tried to talk me through it and, you know, explain everything was okay. So now I don't want to see anything else. I'm concerned right now. At that very second, a hand reached over my neck, grabbed me, and choked me, and a voice came through me, through my right ear, and told me that it was going to kill me, and that it would kill me before it let me remove it from my body. That's what this thing told me. It started choking me. My heart rate dropped so low to the point that I could barely breathe. It caused me to go completely blind in my right eye. I lost all sight, and it was getting ready to make me go blind in my left eye. It was shutting down all of my vital signs. So now this is the most scared I have ever been in my entire life. I never experienced that much fear in my whole life. Something almost invincible telling me that it's gonna kill me. So they had to come over to me. They had to rub me down with all these kind of spiritual herbs. They was blowing tobacco over me, and I'm asking them to help me, but they don't know how to help me because they couldn't see it. And I'm trying to explain this thing is shutting me down where I can't even get my words out. So, you know, I'm praying, everything. I'm trying everything in my power to live. And at that point, I realized I couldn't fight it no more. I couldn't see. I'm trying to open my eyes. I'm trying to realize why my vision went out. And I just laid down. I say, you know, I've been to Egypt. I've had kids. I done did this. I done did that in my life. You know, and I accepted I was going to die. So I laid down and was preparing myself to die. And the voice came through me again. It was the woman second. And she told me, no matter what goes on in your life, never accept death. Never. Never accept that you're going to die. I don't care what it is. You're way more powerful than you realize. All human beings are far powerful than they realize. I cannot fight this battle for you, but I know that you can beat this yourself. When that voice went away, I stood up and I confronted this demon. And I asked his name. I'm going to tell you his name. I said I wasn't going to say that. It told me his name was Zahorad. It said it very proudly and clear. At the moment it said his name, the very second this demon said his name, and I repeated his name back, the ayahuasca showed me the power of names. You know, we say things like words and all this type of stuff. When we say words, spells, we spell out letters. There's energy behind these names and these words because they are vibrations. That's why they call it casting spells. The same way you spell letters, it's just like casting spells. When I said this into this name, inside the vibration of his name, I was able to see its entire life. I saw that it had been worshipped by other different tribes and stuff. This thing was very old, very ancient. It had been around the planet for a very long time. I saw its intentions and the reason why it chose me. On a certain level, our personalities were very similar. I was very laid back. This thing was also very laid back. Besides the fact that it was a negative entity. It felt that if it can get inside me, it would be very difficult for me to detect it and then realize it was death. And it really didn't want to do any harm to me. It wanted to do harm to people around me. It was causing, manipulating people to be very negative to me, to keep me very distant, to keep me very secluded and alone. And it wanted to keep me that way. And it wanted to help me reach a certain level to become a spiritual leader. That's what its plan was. It saw that at a certain level, some point in my life, I was going to become a spiritual leader, and it wanted to help all of the people that followed me become possessed. And I saw that. And at that moment, when I saw that, I almost got angry with it for even trying to play with me like that. And I confronted it again. And when I said his name again, that was how I was able to cast it out of me. And I told him, you know, you have to leave. You can't have any kind of control over me. You have to leave. You have to go back where it came from. And when it left my body, the entire room shook. I wanted to believe it was just imagination. It was just all in my head. When I tell you this room shook, the walls and ceilings cracked. Everybody got scared. They didn't know what was going on. This was like a real life exorcism. They had to come over to me, tell me to keep drinking water. I drank water. I threw all up like the exorcist and everything. I'm dead serious, bro. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. And I hope I don't put any fear in
I mean, you can't even make this up if you wanted to.
Yeah, I couldn't. I hope I don't put no fear into anybody that's planning to do ayahuasca, because I think it's a beautiful thing. Overall, it was a beautiful experience, and I'm glad I did that. And when I made this thing leave, you could see so much bright light just engulf the room. It was just unbelievable. All the light that came through the cracks of the doors, just pure white light. And I never felt that much love in my entire life when this thing was gone. This woman told me that she was proud of me. She knew that I could do it. And basically she told me a whole lot more about my life and about how she watched me grow, you know, as a person, and how I needed to protect myself. And she also wanted me to explain to people the power of prayer and meditation. That when you pray, you send messages. When you meditate, you receive messages. She wanted me to explain those two things. She also wanted me to explain the importance of what is called Kundalini. A lot of people are not familiar with that, but with Kundalini, it's very simple things that's about meditation and breathing techniques. But when you breathe, you actually breathing in cosmic energy and you inhaling cosmic energy. But all these things could actually extend a person's life, make them live longer. It also helps you evolve spiritually, and you know, it really cleanses the consciousness. So I want a lot of people to look more into that. I'm actually, as I receive this information, I'm looking more into it myself. Another thing that I saw after that whole experience, this was the last thing. Me and this woman, we spoke a little bit more, and then she left. The ayahuasca allowed me to know, see everything that I want to know and see, to the point that I ran out of questions. Anything you ask, you would know. Anything you want to see, you could see. It knew I was going to Machu Picchu. It showed me Machu Picchu from an X-ray standpoint. I can see inside Machu Picchu, the whole mountain that I was at. I could see inside of it, and I saw that it was a big underground like cave deep below it where people live. A race of beings live down there. It showed me that. It also showed me this thing that attached itself to me, this demonic entity thing. When it was alive, this thing was not human. The only way I can explain what this thing was, it had the appearance of a reptile. in human form with the appearance of a reptile, what people would probably call a reptilian. That's what this thing was, and there were tribes that worshiped and praised this thing. I saw the exact location of where it was. It was somewhere around the east coast of South America. I don't know the place. I didn't look at the map to really pinpoint, but I saw the exact place. I saw them holding the actual burial ceremony for this entity right there, somewhere very close to a cave. And that's what I saw. They can call me crazy, call me whatever they want to call me. I want to encourage more people to look up ayahuasca, look at the testimonies of ayahuasca. A lot of the things that I'm saying, you will also hear other people saying they receive information from interdimensional beings. Also, before I close out, I want to encourage more people to travel. Travel, you know, even if you just want to travel, you know, with fun, go ahead and travel and have your fun. For me, it's all about culture, knowledge, and gaining wisdom. And I'm pretty much done, man.